softwares or software for pay. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thanks, Bwana Eric, for this rare opportunity to educate the public on open source software.
Well, first of all, before you delve into that open source software, what do you think about the latest Samsung AI-powered phone? Like you can be speaking two different languages. I speak in Swahili and you respond in English as it does the translation in real time. What do you make of that?
I think that's a very nice feature because now you're able to, when you travel abroad, you don't have to learn the language of the destination country.
Yes.
For example, if you go to Spain and you don't know Spanish, you can use that phone now to communicate well with the Spaniards or any other country. Yes, so I think it's a very, very, very nice feature.
All thanks to artificial intelligence, and
of course,
can only get better, I believe.
Yes, indeed.
Well, welcome to the show. So, give us a brief overview of what open source software, you're an expert in that field, what open source software is and how it is different from the pay-for software or proprietary software.
Yeah. Well, let me explain first what the open source software is. Open source software is software which has a source code that is publicly accessible, can be inspected, can be modified, can be enhanced, and also can be distributed. And now with this open source software, you are able to, it embraces collaboration of software developers who come in together. They collaborate together to fix bugs, to add new features without being in the same place, just remotely. Okay? Of course, made possible through internet. And how it differs from proprietary software. A proprietary software is software which is closed, that only the access to that code is limited to specific members of an organization if it is owned by an organization.
Okay.
So it has a very limited view of what that code is. So you're using a software, but you don't have access to the code in the backend. So first of all, it differs. How it's different is it differs in costs. Okay, the open source is mostly free.
Okay.
And then also in terms of support, you get support from communities, from the community, open source community. Whereas for the proprietary, you are limited to the vendor. Okay, and then if you want to do upgrades, you are only limited to for the proprietary software, you are limited to the vendor. Whereas you can do upgrades without any limitation in the open source. I think that's what I can mention for now.
Mbuvi, you're saying that open source is free and everyone is in business. In fact, one of the world's most known billionaires is known for his proprietary software. That is Windows. I'm talking about Windows. Another billionaire who passed on, that is Steve Jobs, is known for Mac OS. Those are proprietary softwares. You have Windows, Mac OS, and they are paid for. You're talking about open source software that people take their time to come up with, communities invest a lot of time in that, and then it's just free. So what is the benefit? What is the opportunity that is there?
Yeah, that's a good question. First, I'd like to correct you. It's not completely free.
Okay.
Suppose
you just said it's free.
Yes.
So you're correcting yourself. Just go ahead.
Accessing that, I can give you a link to maybe, for example, where you can download a free code for a software.
Okay.
But now, how will you install it? You need support. So that's how we come in as an organization to support other businesses to install for them those open source software, and also to maintain that software. Because with time, you need to be doing updates. You need to do some upgrade. If there's a new version, you need to upgrade. Okay? And then also to customize it to your needs as a business, because each business has specific needs. So that's the beauty of open source, because you can customize as you wish. You have access to that code.
So you're saying it's free, but you charge for support?
Yes.
Okay. Any examples of OSS, that is what you call it, right?
Yes.
Open source software.
Yes.
Any examples of a prominent OSS that is Kenyan made?
We have quite a number of them, but I can say three offhand. I can start with the obvious, the Daraja API.
Okay. What does Daraja API do?
Daraja API is used by developers to integrate Safaricom payment system into your application.
Okay.
For example, if I have an e-commerce website, I'll use the Daraja API to integrate with the Safaricom so I can receive money through till number or pay bill online. And that's what is being used as we are speaking.
Okay.
Yes. Another one is we have Ushahidi platform, which is not only being used in the country, it's being used also outside the country.
Okay.
It has been used in the rescue operations in Haiti. It has been used in the to report the police brutality in the Black Lives Matter protest in Portland. It has also been used here in Kenya during the elections to report any election offenses. Yeah. So and it's still there's quite a number of users. That's just to mention but a few. The other one is we have Baraza. Baraza is a HR platform.
Okay.
It also has a payroll system. So that's purely open source. Yeah. So those are Kenyan-made open source software.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are the advantages of using open source software over the proprietary software? Just a few examples.
All right. So first of all, we have mentioned it is not free, completely free. Okay. So whatever is being charged for the support is just a small percentage over what you'll pay, of what you'll have paid for a proprietary software. So even if you are paying that amount, is quite, most of the time it's like 80% cheaper than the proprietary software. I can give an example.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the Kenyan government, through the ICT authority, they are using a mail system called Zimbra, which they have used that to cut down the cost by 80% over the proprietary mail solutions that they will have procured. So you see, that money can be used to channel to the development agenda of His Excellency the President, Dr. Ruto.
Yes.
Yes. So you can even use this open source software to help the government cut down costs in their ICT infrastructure. And they can channel that money to, the savings of that money to the development agenda. Yes.
Now, these types of software are usually made better by communities. And you know what they say, too many cooks spoil the broth. So how does it go when too many people with different ideas come in and do their edits? Won't the final product be altered, or rather, won't the final product get to achieve what it was originally intended to achieve?
All right, that's a good question. How comes we have so many developers collaborating on one software project, right? And not do any mess? So we have tools for committing code and for deploying that code, and there are standards which are followed to do that. And those have already been set up on those online platforms. So you have to follow that so you don't mess up the system. And also there are some changes which, if you commit, it will not be accepted. Because there is, that software is being seen by so many developers, probably across the world. So if you make a mistake there, somebody will come and correct it.
And these are developers with varying skills, right?
Yes, exactly.
So isn't this decentralized? You're saying one has to accept the changes?
Yes.
All right. So tell us the significance of open source software licenses. Please repeat that. So how different are the licenses? How do they impact differently the use and the distribution of open source software when you compare that to the proprietary or the paid for softwares? All
right. So let me explain first the significance of the open source licenses. Supposing I've created my own software project. I've uploaded my software project on the main platform called github.com. Okay. And you want to come and use
GitHub is a repository.
It's a repository.
Okay.
Yeah, but also the URL it's a platform where anybody can upload their software project.
Okay.
Okay. So now I have to apply a license on my software project.
All right.
If I want anybody to use my software, I can decide to patent that software and apply specific kind of license, which somebody has to pay me whenever they want to use that. Of course, it is free, they can use and customize the way they want, but they may use, they may have to pay for the patent. Okay? And also I will also decide to say, to make it less restrictive and say anybody can do whatever they want with it without any repercussions. So to come to that, I have to explain there are two types of licenses. We have copyleft licenses and we have permissive licenses. So for copyleft licenses, any user or any developer who want to use my software code, they have to inherit the license that I've applied to that software. But as for the permissive, is the one that anybody is free to modify and distribute without any restriction. Yes. So I have to decide. The originators of this code, of these software projects, are the ones who decide which license are going to apply to their, which kind of license are going to apply to their software. Yes.
And I believe this type of technology has evolved over the years.
Yes.
And you are in it, you're an expert in it. Could you kindly tell us some of the key milestones that have been realized over the years?
Yeah, we have, let me explain first how open source started.
Okay.
Before, in the 1980s, up to the 1990s, we used to have only proprietary software. Okay?
They paid for software.
They paid for software. We didn't have open source at all. So let's start there.
Okay.
Now there's a man called Richard. I've forgotten the second name. I think Stallman.
Okay.
Okay. He started the Free Software Foundation in 1983, which created the GNU project. Okay, it's very important to know that term. So later on, with the introduction of internet, inception of internet in the late 1990s, it made it possible for software developers to collaborate on software projects, open source software projects, without being at the same place at the same time.
All right.
Through the internet. Okay. So we have, in the late 1990s, we have a Finnish student who was called Linus Torvald, whom we still celebrate now because he's the founder. He came up with the Linux systems, the Linux operating system.
Yes.
You have Windows, now we have a Linux operating system.
Yes.
So for the Linux operating system, is now the foundation of most of these open source software projects. All of them, most of them are running on Linux. Even your phone, if your phone is Android, is running on Linux.
Awesome.
If you are using a browser code for Mozilla.
Yeah, Firefox.
It is running on Linux. It's based on Linux. It's open source.
Okay.
Yes. And quite a number of so many other softwares that you may be using and you're not aware it is open source.
So typically, how's your day like? And I don't want to believe it's a 5 to 8, it's an 8 to 5 job typically. But how is your day like as an industry expert? What currently are you building? I'm building a cloud infrastructure for organization, whereby we'll be hosting these open source software applications. I'll explain some of those applications, but they are all running on Linux because as an organization, we are using open source software to help organizations cut down costs, and they can drive the savings to drive innovation and also do other things with their savings. Okay. In the interest of time, could you kindly go to the specifics?
All right.
Yeah.
So
like a specific project that you're currently working on, and probably how it's going to impact different sectors of the the economy. Good.
So let me start with we will have the Zimbra Mail cloud infrastructure.
Okay.
Because businesses need mail systems to communicate.
Yes.
Okay. Another one is we're building a biometric attendance system, which is running on Linux, which can be used by organizations to monitor the attendance of their employees. Okay, no matter how big the organization is. We also have a visitor management system. For example, when people come to these government buildings, they can be tracked. Okay, without writing on the physical documents.
Okay.
Yes, also a document management system which can be used by the county governments because they have a lot of physical papers. In case of natural disaster, all the data is lost. But now with the document management system, they can digitize all their documents. We also have asset tracking and inventory management system that we're also setting up. And all these solutions, they can be set up on the cloud also or on premise. Okay? So I think that I can mention that for now. We also offer trainings in ICT skills certifications.
Awesome. Yes. Now let's talk about something that is very, very major in this country. It's a conversation that we've had a lot. A lot of people talk about unemployment in the country, and it's there. It's something that is out there in the open. Everyone can see that. What opportunities lie therein in such technology for the youth, specifically?
Wow. I have to mention there's a lot of need for open source, demand for open source skill sets. And even as an organization, we are struggling to find the right skill set. So, and this, the foundation of all this open source is getting the Linux administration certification. Yes. So there are a lot of opportunities, lucrative opportunities in open source. That's what I can say. But now it needs you to do some training. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Very briefly, in 30 seconds or less, what kind of training?
First of all, I would say they will have to start with the Linux administration training.
Okay.
Because most of these open source systems are running on Linux.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Kenneth Mbovi, for that.
Thank you.
I've learned quite a lot. Thank you so much. And thanks so much, viewer, for staying with us till this tail end of the broadcast. My name is Eric Monene. Our sign language interpreter has been Catherine Simaloi, but don't go away yet because up next is Wabebe.